we can agree on breathing being something that happens on a daily basis, right? And I don't think that breath work is as important as having a good time, being angry at people, saying what you think. So that's very important for me to say. You do whatever you want. If you do whatever you want with your life, there are less needs to the breathing exercises. Nevertheless, I think it's very good to know which signs your body is giving you in which moment, as in to know when you are actually hyperventilating and how to regulate yourself, right? But just doing breathing exercises is never going to regulate yourself if you don't say your opinion, if you don't fuck it up from now to then, and if you're not ready to fail. Because you can't control life, so you have to be ready to fail. You have to be ready to make mistakes, and you have to be ready to have a good time. I look extremely tired today. I love that I'm doing these videos and I don't care about the way I look. You know, when a man gets older, he's more attractive by getting older skin. I'm getting older. I'm making a lot of mistakes. I'm not interested in being perfect. And if we're making the breath work to escape either from the lies that we tell ourselves, and this sounds so cheesy and I hate to talk like that, but just as a matter of fact, if we are not feeling safe enough within ourselves, and if we are not in love with what we're doing, that's absolutely fine. But then be honest with the emotions that you're having. Be honest with everything that you're doing, and not because I know better, just because someone needs to say that the breath work is worth nothing if you are unable to feel the things that you're feeling in your life. So, that being said, I recorded 3 videos, which is 45 minutes of content that have not been filmed, and therefore I will just try to do it this way now. I'm filming myself with my phone. I'm trying to upload the file afterwards on Descript and hope that it works. Why am I saying this? Because all of you are also on a weekly basis or monthly basis doing things that get lost and are for nothing. And so when I'm stressing about something like that, sorry, I'm getting messages from an idiot. When I'm stressing about idiots messaging me, or when I'm stressing about things that get lost in space, time that get lost in space, ideas that get lost in space, my breathing is going to change. Just because of the way I think, then I'm going to be stressed. If I don't know what my body does when I'm stressed, and if I don't know how to direct my body in a different direction, I'll be fucked. Where are your lungs, guys? Your lungs are not in your belly, your lungs are not in your face, your lungs are in your rib cage. I can't get up now, but my rib cage is in my back. So my back, my front is also partly my rib cage, but my sides of the ribs are lower than the front ribs. My back ribs, I'm going to make a video at home where I'll show you this tomorrow. My back ribs carry the lungs. My front ribs carry also the stomach on the left side, the liver on the right side. The organs that are in your front part, so everything that is soft, the intestines, the liver, the stomach, and all the other organs, the sexual organs, the organs that are more in the back part of your body, these organs are being pressed down whilst you inhale. When you're stressed, sad, or anxious, these organs are also going to move differently. So for you to go back into a more neutral placement of your organs, it's important to place your ribcage right. You can place your ribcage right by placing your ribcage, but inside of your ribcage are still 2 lungs and a heart. So you need to make sure that the lungs that are in the back of your ribs are being volumized so you want to put volume into them. You as a human, you can move air. You're an airbender. You can move the air into your brain, you can move the air into your hands, you can move the air into your belly by using the organs and pressing them to the front whilst you inhale, and you can move the air into your ribs. If you move them into your ribs and pull up, you have a problem. If you move your ribs and breathe back, you'll be fine. Because in the back you have more space to move the air into your body. Let's think of it, let's say you are an architecture and you build a house. And then you place the windows at the floor. Great, because then you can look from the second floor into the first floor. But it would make more sense to bring and put the windows at walls that face nature. So same thing, you imagine that nature is in your back and you want to try to breathe into the windows that are in the back so that your breath can face nature. So it's up on you, it's on you to know how to use and how to direct your motions in your body. For example, right now I'm doing this. This is a motion that I'm using. If I repeat this motion, my face is going to change over time. If I repeat this motion, my face is going to change over time. If I repeat that motion, my face is going to change over time. If I don't use the lungs to move the air that is around me into my body, I'll have an issue over time. Usually what happens is that most people pull the air up and the stomach up whilst they inhale, and they exhale very fast. Your goal is to try to find the sensation of the texture of your lungs in your body so that you can feel the texture of the organ of the lung, to then try to move the air through long exhalations into your lungs, which will help you to produce nitric oxide in your nose by exhaling slow and holding your breath after exhalation, because the nitric oxide is going to move into your lungs and it's going to make it easier for you to feel the texture of your lungs. And the texture of your lungs can only be felt if you use the lung. So imagine if I never brushed my hair, which I actually rarely do. When I then go into the shower, it's very hard to move my hand through my hair. If I rarely use my lungs and I only breathe to the front, it's going to be very hard to feel my lung. Why so? Because my neurophysiological pathways are not used to feeling the texture of the lung. You want to make sure that you try to feel the texture of your lung so that you know where to inhale. Let's say your body, last idea. Let's, before getting up and showing you my body, your body, the build-up of our anatomy. Let's say that your body is made out of countries, and let's say the left lung is Australia and the right lung is Brazil. Instead of breathing into the US or Europe, try to breathe into Brazil and Australia. So it's another country that you are accessing through your intention and attention. So move the attention towards the intention to move to Brazil and Australia, so that you can sense those countries, those trees and those countries, because the anatomical form of your lungs looks very similar to small tree branches. So you can also just think of having one Amazonas and then tropical plants in your right lung, and then also type of tropical plants from Australia, other types of trees in your left lung. You need to use your brain to create images that allow you to access the anatomy that your body is made of, because the language that we have been using in society over decades to breathe into the belly doesn't make any sense, because there is no lung in the belly. So if you are using inefficient or teachers, instructors, therapists, doctors. There's a lot of doctors and osteopaths also say breathe into the belly. It doesn't make any sense because the person is not going to use Australia and Brazil as in the lungs. So you want those lungs to be accessed by your imagination, and for you to relearn languages or ideas that reshape what you've been hearing for decades and people have been saying for decades takes time. But it starts with the acknowledgement and the intelligence of dropping old information that doesn't matter how many people use it and how many doctors use it. If it's anatomically incorrect and it doesn't make sense, then rewire the information to access your anatomy, the structure of your body, basically mechanical engineering, understanding how to use the body parts. Okay, that being said, I don't want to repeat it again. I'm just going to make a video where I show a little bit how those things move. You want to move the back part of your ribs. So if you were in a cage, you want to open up the cage from the back whilst you inhale. And I'm going to make another exercise too once I'm home and upload it maybe in the second video from now, the third video from now. How it helps also to move the ribs when you inhale down towards your pelvis instead of moving it up. So you want to try to move your rib cage down towards your pelvis once you inhale. Instead of moving it up, you go inhale down. Try to think the opposite of what most things, people and ideas do, because like that you're going to access emotion that is going to feel way more helpful.